In 2021, the World Health Organization stated that around 4 to 13% of all maternal deaths are attributed to unsafe abortions. This is an important figure to keep in mind, because most of these deaths could have been avoided if these people felt like they had a choice. They had some time to figure out what exactly was the safest choice, and they weren't forced to make something just so they can continue doing what it is they're doing just to survive. And that's why I'll be discussing the unrealistic abortion laws across America. You know, in life, we are all thrown some type of curveball. For example, now, I couldn't really do my speech in my room or in my house because I just didn't have any peace of quiet. So that's why I'm in a park. But we're all faced to make some tough decisions just to move on with our lives. So in this speech, I'll be covering the need, which is the changing of these unrealistic abortion laws, how I plan to make these changes, and the benefits of these changes. So let me talk about the need. So the criminalization of abortion, which is caused by these unrealistic abortion laws, leads to unsafe termination of pregnancies, which in turn will elevate the mortality rate of people having pregnancies. So let's take example, the heartbeat bill. Based off the Texas Tribune in 2021, they stated that the heartbeat bill is solely meant to prevent abortion after 6 weeks. 6 weeks isn't a lot of time. A lot of people figure out, or they realize that they're pregnant once they start showing signs, and these signs don't really show up in 6 weeks. It takes way longer. Based off some research from the University of Colorado Boulder, they stated that by banning abortion, pregnancy-related deaths will increase by 21%, right? This percentage doesn't really need to exist if people had time to figure out what exactly was their safest option and just to get educated on options. So now let me talk about my plans to see how we can implement some change, right? So the biggest thing is just leniency. We need leniency in these laws. This leniency will allow people to have a really thorough decision-making process, to get educated, to understand the procedure they're going to go through and the options that are available to them. So let's take California, for example. California is one of the most lenient states in the country. Per Planned Parenthood's website, 2021, they stated that the abortion pill is available up to 10 weeks after the last menstrual period and up to 16 weeks for an in-clinic abortion. The difference between 4 weeks, 8 weeks is astronomical, you know, because time still goes on. We still have to go to school, we have to go to work, we have to deal with our loved ones and the relationships from day to day. And 6 weeks is just simply not enough time to be able to start the grieving process, to understand what it is, what abortion is, whether or not this is the option for you. And let me just bring up that WHO statistic one more time. 4 to 13% every year of maternal deaths are attributed to unsafe abortion practices. Again, these lives did not have to be lost for nothing, right? Many times just people feel like they do not have any other choice than to go through these unsafe practices because of stigma, because of laws, because of anything. So now let me tell you about the benefits of implementing these changes. By making more realistic abortion laws, it allows people to have a more thorough decision-making process. This will lead to the best option for any party involved. The best option, 9 times out of 10, will be the safest option. So per Planned Parenthood, in California, people have the right to abort up to 6 months. Obviously, this is a case-to-case thing, but the biggest thing to take away from this is that people have time to make a properly informed decision. people have time to understand what they're doing and understand every single option that's available to them. Some data from the Child's Law Center of California states that in California, there's around 60,000 children in foster care right now. As I mentioned in my previous speech, my family is a foster family. I've seen the stories of some of these kids that we fostered, and many times parents are just not ready to be parents. They were not in any situation to be able to raise a child and give them everything that they needed. And many times, people felt like they were forced to have this child, that child, just because of stigma, because of judgment, because they simply were not educated enough and did not have enough time to make a proper decision. Again, we are all forced to make some pretty tough decisions in our lives. But the biggest thing to take away from this is people need time to make these decisions. People absolutely need time. So in my speech today, I covered the need to change the unrealistic abortion laws across America, the plans in which I stated how to implement some change, and some of the benefits that come with making these changes. The best thing that we all can do is just get out there and get educated. Read some pamphlets, read the bills that are being passed in California and our neighboring states. Understand what these politicians are putting into place, what options are available. Just to give some more background on myself, I am and I currently still a part of a support system of a loved one who has recently made that tough decision of terminating a pregnancy. And it's not something easy. And unfortunately, I do not have any visual aid for something like this because, abortion is a pretty touchy subject. But the biggest thing really is just making the informed decision, becoming educated. Go out there, get educated, and fight against these unrealistic abortion laws.